Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name's Liz, and for today's video we have some farmhouse DIYs. I feel like I haven't done a good just like rustic farmhouse full video in a really long time, so that is what I got for you today. I probably did one a couple weeks ago and forgetting about it. Anyways, that's what we've got. Rambling. If you guys want to see my farmhouse DIYs, then let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. For this DIY, I'm going to grab 2 of these wooden crates from the Dollar Tree. I also grabbed some wooden dowels. These are actually from Walmart, but I do know that Dollar Tree carries them as well. And I'm going to cut 2 to the size of the height of the crate. I kind of add some dowels later. This was just the beginning thought, and as this DIY came along, I decided to add more dowels to it. So you can just kind of skip that part for now until I show you what I do later, but I'm going to paint both of my crates in the white Waverly chalk paint. And I just painted the front and the back and the tops and one of the side on each crate. The other 2 sides will be glued together, so it's not too big of a deal to leave those blank. So you are going to glue your crates together on the sides that you did not paint. Now I'm going to take some more of these dowels and I'm going to make a frame out of the dowels. I'm going to use my miter shears at a 45-degree angle cut so that all of the pieces can fit nicely together. I'll link those miter shears in my description. It's what I always use to cut these dowels, and I think it's a really great way to get those angled cuts. So I just kind of measured everything out, eyeballed it, I trimmed it when I needed to, when it was a little bit too long, and I made a frame using these dowels. And then once I've gone ahead and painted those white as well, I'm going to start gluing them all together. So I just started with some of the sides, glued the sides together, tried to figure out, the best way to glue it to the front of my crates. Making sure that each piece was the same length was a little bit tricky. Took me a little bit longer than I anticipated, but in the end, I think it turned out really cute. So I'm just going to start adhering this to the front of my crates. And once I've got that frame all glued on there, I am going to take one of those dowel pieces that we cut in the beginning, and I'm going to use that to glue down the seam between those 2 crates so that it just looks like one flawless piece. Now I have one of these dough bowls that I picked up from the Target dollar spot. It was $5 and I thought this was the perfect topper for this crate. I'm going to make a little shelf out of it. So I'm going to take my hot glue, go around the top portion of my crates and lay it down on the bottom of the dough bowl. Now to finish it off, I have these little handles that I picked up off of Amazon. Again, I will link them in the description box below. I did 1 per crate and I added those screws on the sides, and that is all you have to do for this DIY. I thought this turned out really cute. You could put candles and greenery in the top, or you could put other sort of decor at the top. You could even use this on a shelf for your keys or, anything like that. But I thought this one turned out really cute. For this DIY, I grabbed this wooden chicken that you can get from Michael's. It was $6.99 plus it was on sale. I'm going to start out by giving it a rough coat of Waverly white chalk paint. I really just kind of dry brushed all over this. I didn't make it perfect. I didn't paint the sides. You can still see that plain wood color through all the paint. So this is just a very rough coat of chalk paint. Once that is all dry, I'm going to take these Dixie Belle transfers. This is so much fun. I am so impressed by the quality of these transfers, the colors, the vibrancy. I just think that they're so much fun. So I picked these up from Dixie Belle. It'll be linked in the description box, and you get 4 sheets with this pack. And for this one, I wanted to use this fresh eggs transfer, so I just cut that out from that sheet of transfers and I set it to the side while I kind of add some embellishments to my chicken. So I'm going to grab some greenery that I got from Michael's. I'm going to glue those together in 2 sets of 2, and then once I have my 2 sets of 2 together, I will hot glue them together at the stems. And then once the stems are all glued together, then I'm going to go ahead and glue it to my chicken just right around the neck area. And then I'm going to make a bow using this Farmhouse ribbon from the Dollar Tree. Just going to take 2 loops, tie them together in a knot, and then play around with the length of the loops, cut off those tails, and then hot glue that to the top of my greenery. Now I just centered my transfer on my chicken, and these transfers came with this big wooden stick or big popsicle stick but that you can use to rub onto your transfer. So I'm just going through and rubbing all over the transfer, and then I'll slowly peel up. If anything is peeling up that should be sticking down, I just go over it some more, and I just keep doing this until that top film is all the way off. And that is all you have to do for this DIY. I thought this was so much fun. I am really loving these transfers from Dixie Belle. I've got to come up with an idea for that barn transfer because that just looks so beautiful. So keep an eye out in a future video. I will probably use that one. For this DIY, I grabbed this little family nail with the string thing from the Target dollar spot. I just wanted to use this for the wood itself, so I just put the string and the nails to the side, and I'm going to paint this with 1 coat of white Waverly chalk paint. Once that's done, I'm going to take these silk screen transfers, again from Dixie Belle. This one had a lot of different kind of designs in them, kind of more botanical and florally, and I found this really fun viney pattern, and I am going to use that one. Now it comes with a little scraper that you can use for paint, but I decided to just use my chalk paste from COUTURE and a COUTURE squeegee. It's just so much easier, and I love the chalk paste. So I just centered that onto my plaque as best as I could, and then I'm going to use my chalk paste from COUTURE in eucalyptus, and I'm going to use my squeegee to get all the paste on there. So all you're going to do once you're done is peel that up. Look at that super pretty design. Now I have this image that I took off of a sign from Dollar Tree, and I thought that this would go perfectly with today's video. So I'm just going to add some glue to the back. The front of it, it's Farmhouse and has a cow on it. So I just thought this would work perfectly. So I'm going to glue that down to the middle of my sign. And then I'm going to take these decorative push pins or decorative pins that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I had the hardest time trying to get these to go in here. So in the end, I ended up taking some wire cutters and cutting the actual nail part off of it, and then just adding some hot glue and pushing that into the side. That worked so much better. Plus I didn't have a hammer on hand. I had no idea where it was since we just moved. So cutting off the ends was much easier for me at this point. But if you have a hammer, may as well just hammer them in. But this is all you're going to do for this DIY. Really, really easy. And I thought this turned out really fun. For this DIY, you're going to need a couple different things. I grabbed this rectangular plaque from Walmart. I believe it was 98 cents. And then I grabbed one of these unfinished candlestick holders from Hobby Lobby. This was $2.49. And then I grabbed these lids that are from IKEA. They come in a 2-pack. I don't remember the price of them. It was a really long time ago that I purchased them. So I grabbed those. I'm just going to use one of those lids, and then I'm going to take out that little metal piece on the candlestick just with some pliers. And I'm going to start by painting the IKEA lid and the Hobby Lobby candle in my Waverly chalk paint in ink. Once I've got those painted and it's dry, I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper and I'm going to go around the candlestick and the lid, and I'm just going to rough those up a little bit. I wanted them to look distressed, so I'm just going to hit it with some sandpaper and give it a little bit of more rustic look to it. Now with that rectangle from Walmart, I'm just going to give that one good coat of Waverly chalk paint in white. So I'm going to attach my candlestick to that IKEA lid, and I'm going to attach it the top side to the IKEA lid. So it's going to be upside down and the bottom is now going to become the top. Again, I'm going to grab one of these transfers from Dixie Belle. This one has the really cute chicken on it, and I'm just going to cut that out, center that towards the top of my sign, and again, using that big popsicle stick that it came with, I'm just going to rub and rub and rub all over my sign and all over that transfer, and then I will start peeling back the film at the top. And again, if there are any pieces that start pulling up that are supposed to be stuck down, just use your finger or that popsicle stick and rub it down onto your sign as you're peeling up, and that is what worked for me. I just started doing that as I was peeling, and that worked really well to make sure that nothing peeled up that wasn't supposed to. Now I'm going to take two different kinds of ribbon, both from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take this burlap ribbon and I'm going to cut it down. I want both of those wire pieces to be off of there, but I also want this to be frayed. So I just cut both ends off and then frayed the edges. And I just cut it down till I got the thickness that I wanted. So I'm just going to wrap it around the bottom and then glue it to the back. And then with this lace ribbon, again from the Dollar Tree, I'm going to wrap it around my sign, and then I'm going to tie it in about 4 knots on the side. Once the knots are all tied, I will just trim down that ribbon on the bottom just a little bit. And then I am going to make a little stand for this sign to sit on top of my candlestick. So I took some tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. I stuck 2 together, hot glued that down, and then I decided to do a second set just to make it a little bit more sturdy. And then I'll glue those to the back of the first set that I already glued down to the candlesticks. Now I wanted to make sure that this was all cohesive, so I added some black chalk paint to those tumbling tower blocks as well. And then once that's all dry, all you gotta do is take some hot glue, add it to your tumbling tower pieces, and then stick your plaque on top. And that is it for this DIY. You have this really cute and rustic farmhouse sign that I think is going to look really beautiful on a shelf. For this DIY, this is super simple and easy. All you're going to do is take some sort of vase that you have. This is a vase from the Dollar Tree, and your hot glue. You are just going to hot glue stripes all over your vase, just over and over and over again until you have as many stripes as you want. These don't have to be perfect. Mine are all over the place, overlapping on top of each other. There are glue blobs on it. You can be as messy or as perfect as you want to be with this DIY. Just keep going with your hot glue over and over and over, just wrapping it around your entire vase. Once I had that done, I took my heat gun just so that I could melt all those little glue strings that ended up everywhere. Then I'm going to go in with this Rust-Oleum metallic gold spray paint, gave it a couple coats of that, and then added it on top of a Dollar Tree candle holder, added some florals, and that is it for this DIY. And that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me know which your favorite project was in the comments down below. And that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.